fitness is such a high thing. It should be a high priority for all military members, that the people that have a much more fitness driven life, I feel like personally that they do a lot better being able to deal with these situations, with these stressors, because they have that automatic outlet. I know for a fact that anytime that my fitness has gone down, my stress level always goes up. And I mean, just depending on what your job is, you especially now with COVID, gym life isn't as easily accessible as it used to be. So a lot of people, myself included, are just opting to get home gyms, because being able to fit that into your schedule is a lot more difficult than it used to be.
Yeah, and while you're on the subject of COVID, that is an additional stressor that a lot of people are dealing with now, and it's something to be aware of too. So we've had recent discussions with leadership here on base, just about some of the stressors that people are dealing with regards to COVID specifically, and there's a lot. And it's not just, a lot of people focus on the families. So the people with families and the kids and all the stressors that, and yeah, they do have a lot of stressors, but we can't forget about the single airmen either. And the single soldiers and DoD personnel, they're just as much at risk as the ones with families. So from an isolation standpoint, singles are actually more at risk. They're more isolated. They have less support. On the family side, having to deal with the school situation of the kids, that's a huge stressor. There are some kids that are having to do homeschooling, which is an additional stressor on the parents. So parents who have never taught are having to teach classes. My wife's included in that. Our twins started preschool this year, and she's homeschooling them because it was either them attend classes virtually, and real talk, my kids are not going to be able to stare at a computer screen for 8 hours. That's not happening. But now she's having to homeschool, and she never taught in her life, so she's having to learn that and adjust to that. And then for the kids too, it's stressful on them. They're, especially for the kids who have had in-school social experiences, now they're sitting at a computer screen. A lot of kids are suffering with that. They want that social interaction, so you see a lot of kids struggling with that in that regard. And then even the kids that are able to go to school, is a different dynamic now. Different rules, different situations. So there's a lot of adjustments on different levels. Also, changing routines. So we talk about routines. COVID has thrown a wrench in everyone's day-to-day routines. What you were doing before is not what you're doing now. And that it can have a huge impact. One of the things that we're seeing most often is with COVID, families are spending a lot more time together. Now, initially you would think, oh, that's a great thing. You get more time with your kids, more time with your spouse. That should be a good thing, right? In actuality, it's a change of pace, and it can be very stressful. If you're not used to seeing your kids all day, every day, that can be stressful. And then with that, not only are you stressed out, now you're feeling guilty that you're stressed about spending more time with your kids and your spouse, because you're like, shouldn't I be happy? Shouldn't I be shouldn't we be bonding? And you're like, why do I feel mad? Why am I more irritated? So now you got guilt thrown in there on top of stress. It's just things that people don't think about, and it's something you got to put in the forefront of your mind. Just having general conversations with people at work, like, hey, how are you doing? And really finding out, where your airmen are, where your DoD personnel are, how's their family, how's their personal life, really asking those questions. Because like I said, the guilt, the stress, the single life, the married life, the kids, there's a plethora of stressors that we're dealing with now that we haven't been used to in the past.
Well, everyone, I hope you enjoyed that clip from the XChange over at our channel, Wild at Heart Association. This is a podcast-style interview format that we recently started, and we hope you guys are enjoying it. Be sure to check that out, give that video a thumbs up, and subscribe to the channel if you like what we're doing here at Wild at Heart.